Well, the WNBA was all of the talk over the weekend, Chad. They're winning in the discussion column. They now have the rivalry that they needed as a league. It just so happens it's not just with one player. It's Caitlin Clark and her fans against the perceived black Klansmen of the rest of the WNBA. The players are extremely jealous of Caitlin Clark. Maybe some don't like her because she's white. Maybe. But by and large, it's hard for me to wrap my head around the fact that she's treated the way she is right now based on racism. Where are the other 20% of the league's ethnicity who are Caucasian in this whole discussion? Where are they being persecuted if it's about race? Sabrina Ionescu, Breanna Stewart, Kelsey Plum, Diana Taurasi. Some of the biggest names in the WNBA right now happen to be white, and I don't see them getting shoulder checked or elbowed the way that social media has blown up over the weekend with Caitlin Clark and the fan base that's now following her to the WNBA from college basketball. But if we're going to preach that not everything has to be racist, I would hope that this is an example of where we can actually follow what we're preaching as a community, as a nation, as friends, family, whatever. This is an example of that. Because if it was just about skin color, the honky named Sabrina Ionescu, would have been persecuted, ridiculed, and shoulder checked for shooting threes with Steph Curry, apparently the superior race in basketball, at last year's NBA All-Star Weekend. Instead, celebrity went way up because a white girl shot threes in a three-point contest against Steph Curry. I didn't hear the race card being played there. Players, to me, are motivated against Caitlin Clark out of jealousy, out of covetousness, out of the fact that she's the biggest name, the biggest star to enter the league, and she's getting things done that the previous players couldn't get done. And they also are motivated to whip her ass because she is all of those things, and she's the leading scorer in college basketball. Chad, the number one overall picks, one of them happens to be Caitlin Clark. Elena Delle Donne's taken a year off. She's right up there too. But the number one overall picks, there are four of them, other than Caitlin Clark, who are still playing in the league. And if this were just solely based on white versus black, there's a sentiment going around that, well, they should sit in the back of the now chartered jets that Caitlin Clark has made happen across the WNBA that others couldn't get done. They were flying commercial. They were complaining about it. And they're still complaining about Caitlin Clark. But it's not just about one issue. It's about a number of issues. And the top one is jealousy, not racism. And I'd like to put it to bed that just because Caitlin Clark is white doesn't mean that she's not welcome in the WNBA. The players aren't welcoming her, but they're certainly trying to prove a point that it's just at a different level. Even Diana Taurasi was saying this well before Clark's fans were pouring in to watch the product. Diana Taurasi, who leads the league in a number of categories, she now has her 500th steal, happened to be against Caitlin Clark, by the way, quoted by saying, and this was with Scott Van Pelt, this was April 6th. There's levels to this thing. That's just life. We all went through it. You see it on the NBA side, and you're going to see it on this side. You look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to be playing against some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time. Not saying that her skills aren't going to translate, because when you're great at what you do, you're just going to get better. But there is going to be a transition period where you're going to have to give yourself some grace as a rookie. And that's what Caitlin Clark is facing right now. She's facing the reality that it's at a different level, and she admitted that after game number one.
Yeah, look, if we're going to do anything on this show, we're going to remain somewhat consistent, and we're definitely going to remain authentic to our actual beliefs and
Yes.
opinions on things. I have remained consistent, very, very consistent. I'm anti-cancel culture. I don't like when James Franco gets canceled, and I don't like when Bud Light gets canceled.
Right.
I don't like any of it. I'm anti-cancel culture throughout. I'm not going to play both sides. I'm not going to speak out of both sides of my mouth. I'm also not going to speak out of both sides of my mouth when we come on here and criticize Jamel Hill or Stephen A. Smith or Bomani Jones or anyone else for immediately playing the race card and acting like every white person that has an opinion about this, or this is automatically racist because they have that opinion. I'm not going to do the same thing with Caitlin Clark. I don't think it's racism that was bringing Trinity Carter to her to shoulder shove her to the ground for a flagrant one. I think it's a stronger human-based emotion than hate or racism. It's jealousy. I agree with Hutton on this. I think the rest of the league is jealous of Caitlin Clark. Are they jealous of her because she's white? I don't think so. Do they think that she gets preferential treatment from the media and gets better sponsorships and people watch the WNBA more because she's a white girl from the Midwest? Yeah, they probably believe that. And that's part of it. It's not that they're racist. It's not that they look at her and hate her because she's a white girl. They look at her and hate her because they ain't her. This is the oldest emotion. Jealousy. They hate us because they ain't us. That's what the Indiana Fever are right now. People are watching. People care about Caitlin Clark. They don't care about Trinity Carter. By the way, Trinity Carter also doesn't care about answering questions about Caitlin Clark. Here's what she had to say in the post-game press conference, and we're going to play this with the difference in how it was handled by Caitlin Clark.
And then Kennedy, just want to give you an opportunity to talk about that moment between you and Caitlin. What was that play, what was said, and kind of what led to.
Next question.
Yeah, like it seemed like she turned to you a little bit.
Yeah.
After
I ain't answering no Caitlin Clark questions.
did she say anything to you?
I don't know what she said.
What'd you say to her?
I didn't say anything.
That's enough. We're good.
She's good.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it, but I think it's just like, just respond, calm down, let your play do the talking. It is what it is. It's a physical game. Go make the free throw and then execute on offense. And I feel like that's kind of what we did, but, you know, it is what it is, I guess. I don't know.
Chad, you also have Angel Reese on the sideline jumping up and getting into it. There's a big factor here I want to dive into with you on what is really what I'm noticing and picking up on. But prior to the shoulder shove, the shoulder check that apparently was so strong, that knocked her on 2 feet and then all of a sudden knocked her down. Same thing with an elbow from Angel Reese. Knocked her back 6 feet.
I'll
apparently.
say the shoulder thing would have knocked anyone down because it was a surprise move.
Well,
the little elbow shake-off thing was definitely an exaggeration from Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, and we've seen
the
her
way
flop
she
before.
hit the deck. Yeah.
But Caitlin Clark was going at Kennedy Chandler earlier, or Carter, excuse me.
Is it Kennedy Carter?
Kennedy Carter.
Spelled C-H.
On the other
Okay.
end of the floor prior to that play. There's a lot of trash talk going on.
Yeah. And also,
And that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. But the big thing I'm picking up on is, where are her teammates? You see this if this happened in the NFL, if this happened in a rec league, where are the teammates that are watching this take place on a nightly basis? She's only fouled on average 3 times per game. On a nightly basis, they go over and help her up, but they're not really going to her defense. And that's the other weird perspective of this that I'm sure has some more background than what we see just on the floor playing out.
Yeah, if this happened in any men's game, Kennedy Carter would have been dealt with immediately by a teammate on that. It was a Bush League move by her. And let me also point out, Kennedy Carter has been released not once but twice for conduct detrimental to a team, including last year. She was the 4th overall pick by the Atlanta Dream. She didn't make it a year before being kicked off the team for conduct detrimental. So she doesn't exactly have the most pristine track record when it comes to above-the-board play and being a teammate. So I do want to put that out there also. Do I think she's racist? No. Do I think that she's a bad teammate and probably got too much of a temper and that's why she can't stay on a roster? Yeah. I think the track record shows us that, and it showed itself again yesterday.
But here's what she put on social
Someone
after
for the
game.
Fever should have done something.
Yeah, yes. That's the thing, is I'm watching other players not do much of anything other than help her up off the floor. So you've got Carter, who went on and wrote a post on Threads and said, and that's that on that, because besides three-point shooting, what does she bring to the table, man? And then went on to say on Threads,
which has nothing to do with her
from
shoulder checking her.
And that's that on that. And then in a reply to a post about Angel Reese celebrating with Carter after taking the foul, Carter wrote on Threads, "My dog for sure got all my teammates." So there's, the dust up with Clark.
Well, hey, at least they have each other's back. I wish the Fever had Caitlin Clark's back.
Sure. Now, will the WNBA, who's upgraded this to a flagrant foul against Kennedy Carter, have the back moving forward of Caitlin Clark, who's got an ear issue or something?
Well, she got
on the injury report.
She got rattled on Sunday against the New York Liberty on a very physical, hard screen. Was not dirty,
right.
And she hurt her ear.
Scored
and
3
went to the
points.
locker room
Yeah.
and then had to come back and watch.
No,
it was like a 102-64 blowout loss for Indiana.
She's averaging, Clark, for the season so far, 16 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. She has 14 steals total on the season. She's averaging also 6 turnovers per game.
Yeah.
So they're motivated coming into a game to defend her. And
she's getting no preferential treatment from the officials. I mean, there's none of that going on. There's no Jordan rules here with Caitlin Clark.
Right.
I mean, honestly, it's probably better for the league if there were Jordan rules for her because it's the
Jordan
best thing
those.
going for the WNBA.
Jordan
right
didn't
now.
have those his rookie year.
No. He had to get roughed up by the Pistons for about 5 or 6 years before he got the Jordan rules. And she's not there yet. And look, I commend her. Caitlin Clark is not some angel on the court either. And I'm not talking about Angel Reese. I mean, she's dropping F-bombs. She's talking trash. She's flopping. She's complaining to the officials all the time. She's a basketball player. Pretty much every basketball player today that I know does that. Luka Doncic, who I love watching play, and is a cutthroat guy, assassin late in the game. He bitches constantly the whole game to the officials, to the crowd, to everyone. It's kind of a part of the game right now, and Caitlin Clark is certainly not above that. I will commend her for at least in a press conference setting, not making excuses or complaining too much about it, saying, hey, the league's physical. I can't react. My approach right now is I'm not going to react to it. I'm going to get up and keep playing if the cheap shots come. And the cheap shots came this past weekend. So you're saying jealousy. I'm saying jealousy is the root of this, right? Elle Duncan, though, from ESPN, thinks it's something else.
She's saying a couple of different things in this.
Yeah.
If you are new and you don't have the capacity yet to talk about storylines within the W because you just don't know enough, that's okay. But what you shouldn't do is, because you just want to lend your voice to the conversation in general, keep rehashing the same tired, boring, dumbass, fabricated storyline that all of these women are bitter and can't stand Caitlin Clark. I'm frustrated because the only time that we hear the newbies or the outsiders refer to any storylines inside the W, it is essentially putting mostly Black and brown women in a place where the miscreants then get to slide into their DMs undeservingly and attack them. I'm not with that. I think Caitlin Clark is being appropriately covered. She is. She's a star. Like, we don't make these decisions in a vacuum, guys. You can get mad at me all you want because we're rehashing Cowboys talk. We literally have metrics that show that when we talk about the Cowboys, you watch. And when we talk about something else, you turn. And that's how these things are guided. So people watch Caitlin Clark. They love Caitlin Clark. It's true. I think she is getting the appropriate amount of coverage, and it's deserved. But I am so annoyed and over this idea that the players on that court need to not respect Caitlin, because I think that they do, and she's earning their respect, as every rookie does, but they need to worship her. And this is just weird to me.
It's on the right time with Bomani Jones there. Elle Duncan. The worship is coming from the fan base that's following Caitlin Clark to the WNBA.
Yeah, let me hit on the main thing here that I think that Elle Duncan is totally missing the point on, that she keeps talking about over and over. Instead of going after, this was my big pet peeve with when the NHL moved to Nashville back in the day, was people that were in from the beginning would not allow new hockey fans to be a part of it.
Soccer fans.
Right. Hey, you don't know what you're talking about. You're standing up during play. How about help the new fans understand what you love about the sport and welcome them in, so everyone can benefit from it. So the players and coaches you worship can benefit from it financially, with security in the league and everything else. When L. Duncan starts calling it, first off, the W over and over, the W. When I hear the W, I think of either the hotel or the missing part of the CW, the network.
Yeah, it's the
that I think LIV Golf is on also.
Yes, it is.
And Smallville reruns. When you talk about newbies lending their voice to the narrative, this is great for your league. Welcome all newbies aboard. They know who Caitlin Clark is. They don't know who Kennedy Carter is. Hell, I didn't know even how to pronounce her name. I just saw her knock Caitlin Clark down. But it's brought me in also to pay attention to it. So instead of going after the newbies of, hey, you haven't been here long enough to understand the power of the W, so we don't want your opinions, and you're lending yourself to these bad opinions. No, welcome it in. All that interest is good for the league.
Well, they're welcoming the attendance. The Fever in their home games, in 5 home games, they've already surpassed last season's attendance total in 20 games of 82,857. They're 17,274 is what they're averaging. They've sold out in 7 of the 9 games that she's played in total. So they're getting more eyeballs on the floor. I don't know about the ratings with this game in real time on TV. I just know it was a social media frenzy. I didn't pay attention to this.
It got people talking.
I saw one clip, and then I saw other people point out that, oh, look over there, there's Angel Reese. Oh, here's another elbow that happened 24 hours later, seeing an elbow from Angel Reese because people actually went back and watched other plays. This is great for the WNBA. This is the rivalry that college basketball had with just Angel Reese playing the heel, even though she doesn't want to admit that, and LSU against Iowa. And who can name another player on Iowa's roster? I think who can name another player on Indiana's roster right now? I think that's the point from the opponent's perspective. They're out to prove a point. And Kennedy Carter, well, you see her name spelled with a CH. You know how to say her name now.
Yeah.
I can't tell you another player on a roster that even for the Fever currently. And the new fans probably can't either. And I think that's the other thing that the W has to get right.
The W. L. Duncan wants us to call it the W.
Yeah.
The real ones know that it's the W and not the WNBA. Sure. So we didn't know that. Hey, this is the first time I've thought the WNBA might be scripted because this is great for interest. That Kennedy Carter does this, that Angel Reese is there celebrating because we're leading a show talking about it. It's terrific for interest. I'll also say this. It was a cheap shot. Kennedy Carter has a history of this and getting kicked off teams and all of that. Caitlin Clark's in no real danger here. I've yet to see anything rising to the level where I fear for her safety.
No.
Or anything like that. I mean, I'm not watching games thinking, boy, they're going to maim this poor girl.
Right.
She's a big girl. She's played a lot of basketball. She's played physical. She's very strong. She's going to be okay.
Should be just fine.
I'm not ready to have a wake for Caitlin Clark just yet in the league.
A separate water fountain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too. If she wants caviar on the flight, she'll get it.
Yeah.
I mean, she's going to be okay here.
So they're going to make her march to the back of the private plane that she helped fund for the league?
Yeah. Back to the cracker section.
Back of the plane, please, miss.
No. It just she will earn her stripes, and she'll have the last laugh if she wants it.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
To reiterate, Kennedy Carter went to Texas A&M. I'm sure was surrounded by a lot of Caucasian people, and to my knowledge, was not walking around campus preaching hate speech,
Sabrina
or
Ionescu,
attacking
Breanna
people
Stewart,
or anything else.
Kelsey Plum.
This is a jealousy play. This is the jealousy of the interest and eyeballs and money and fame of Caitlin Clark that none of these women have been able to attain. They're jealous of it, and they're out to prove they're better basketball players than her. And in some cases, they're doing so by roughing her up a bit.
They'll fly charter to get there.
Yeah.
And do that.
Yeah. Caviar and dreams.
I'm jealous of our next guest and his golf game. Caleb Surratt's about to join us. LIV Tour, golf professional.
You got to golf with him today.
I did. 20 years old, and, had some fun on the front 9 of the Grove, the golf course where LIV will be here later this month. And, he gave me some pointers throughout the round. So, here we go. First tee, 0 warm-up. Caleb had the private warm-up. A very slick move by him. No one else could even find the driving range. Not that I need it. I would have wanted to quit before I even teed off. So I'm just hoping to be better than Clay Travis today.
Oh, I'm no good.
I'm not. All right, so I'm on golf ball number 2, actually. At least I thought. And then I found my golf ball in the low country here at the Grove. And we're over here next to the homes. You can show some of these homes at them because there's no addresses here. Just beautiful homes. Not as, you know, not as beautiful as Clay's homes, but yeah. No, but Adam brings up a good question. Like, if you hit a house, like, are you responsible for it? I don't really know the etiquette there. What I do know is, someone was hitting. What I do know is, I did hit a house at McMinnville Country Club once off the driving range. Houses were to the right, and Larry Wilmore is this man's name. Wilmore Ford, Lincoln Mercury, shout out. Came up hot pissed at me. Ryan Rigsby from Rigsby Roofing, biggest WWE looking dude you've ever seen, like Big Show size. Took up for me and said it was him. And Larry, what are you going to do about it? And Larry turned around and went home. I guess he fixed his own window. Thank you.
Hit a few foul balls.
Yeah, you didn't have that right.
No, that's 2 in a row that didn't go right. That's good.
Figured it out.
You going to shoot our thing real quick?
Yeah, real quick. Yeah. Me and you?
We just got you, yeah. All right, so grip it and rip it. That's my motto here today, right?
Oh, yeah.
Are you on the green? You just drive the green?
Somewhere up there.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get it on the fairway here. So any tips that you have for me after you see this swing would be awesome.
All right, perfect. I'll fill you in.
It's not going to go well.
Not gonna go well. You picked a hard tee ball though to start this. This one looks a little tight.
Well,
Don't mean to make you nervous.
you picked this actually.
That is true.
So what do you think so far? Again, I'm fairway. You're going for the flag here. I just need to get over here.
Your alignment looks good. Yeah. Oh, wait.
Yes.
We got to get you in a glove.
What brand would that glove be?
That's why the base is getting open, because you're not wearing a glove and your club slips.
So it's all about the gear.
I mean, that would help, yeah.
Are you wearing pants today because you only get to wear shorts on the lift tour?
I wear pants everywhere. I'm a pants guy. That's my thing. Except Singapore. That was
Pants optional.
pants was optional. it was hot. It was hot. So I try and wear pants.
So what we're learning is it's not bad. Actually, it is really bad, but as far as bad goes, it's on the upper tier of bad.
It's up there. But that's only your first shot, so there's plenty of recovery time after that.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Watch this. Watch this work. No, watch this work.
No.
Look at this.
That's going off.
Get up there. Sit down. Sit.
Oh, man.
Oh.
The greens are literally
The greens are
They're so fast.
fast compared to what though? For you?
I mean, they're just faster than I thought they'd be. I mean, they're really firm. They're definitely firm.
What will you shoot here?
I have no idea. I've never seen the golf course. I mean,
Well, you don't have to see it really.
I've played 5 or 6 holes today, and I've made 3 or 4 birdies. But we're also playing the blue tees today, which I'm sure is different. But when they have that the Simmons out here, I think like 15 under has won with 4 rounds. So hopefully around that would be awesome.
Let's go for the victory.
Let's do it.
What's the trophy look like? Do you know?
That's a him question. I'm not really sure.
It's a black kind of pendant around. It's got a kind of L shape. They all use the same one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they look cool.
NASCAR, Kyle Busch once destroyed a guitar trophy.
Really?
Yeah, like a nice custom Gibson. pissed
So
everyone
if you
off.
win
So
here, you feel free to destroy the trophy.
Yeah.
I think what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just throw it.
Right,
Throw it in
exactly.
the
and
water
then be
on
willing to
18.
talk about it after because Kyle didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah. Champion's got to retrieve it next year.
Right, of course.
Yes.
Yeah. Want me to pull it?
Yeah, please. Thank you.
Come on, man.
Great putt.
All right.
I'll see you.
Yes, sir. I think
I think we're playing one more. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're doing one more.
Are you going to be there later this afternoon?
Yeah. That's usually I'll see you there. Awesome. Better believe I'm here this afternoon.
Later
Yeah.
afternoon is now.
Right
Yeah,
now.
Later this afternoon happens to be
And
in the present.
Here he is, Caleb Surratt in studio with us from the LIV Tour, which will be here in Nashville coming up later this month. June 21st to the 23rd is when it will be at the Grove, in College Grove, just down the street, down the interstate from us here in Middle Tennessee. LiveTour.com is where you can go for ticket information. He's off to Houston right after this, Chad. So
Nice.
we say hello to Caleb. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on.
Caleb, I must
yeah.
ask, okay, because we like to have brutal honesty on this show.
Love
all
it.
right, you can never be mean enough to either of us. You just
right.
have to be
It's fair.
completely honest. Just rip the Band-Aid off. Please evaluate Hutton's game and his swing today from what you saw.
I mean, I didn't have.
You're going to see some other swings here in a second.
I didn't have quite long enough to give my full evaluation to
Yeah.
Here
see,
you go.
but
You'll see some stuff
I
here.
mean,
it's bad.
There's definitely some work to do.
Yeah,
That's
I've got
probably
to
my nicest answer.
I've got to
I
get
can
closer to the ball, right?
Yeah, we got a text from someone saying you need to get closer to the ball.
Yeah.
It's-
First off.
I got to,
I think we need some more speed.
no doubt.
You know, to be a, well-fit guy of your stature, you got to have a little more speed than that.
Okay.
So-
Yeah.
So who's the worst golfer you've ever played with? And am I
Oh,
under
gosh.
consideration?
No, you're not in consideration for that. No, not even close.
Nice.
Not even close.
I would have been under consideration had I played, but thank God I didn't.
No, I mean,
You probably don't even remember the person that was the worst, right?
no.
They just all
There's
go out of your mind
so many
immediately.
rounds at
So,
this point.
Chad, Caleb, so great at what he does. He's 20 years old. He's in college at Tennessee, playing golf there, and John Rahm calls you.
Yes, sir.
What was the call like?
Yeah, the whole situation, like the whole scenario was just really out of nowhere. It was something that I've told everybody that I had a very quick transition, right? Like from initial like contact with everybody that I needed to speak with to playing in the golf tournament was shorter than 95% of players, I would assume. That's how much of a no-brainer it was for me, and it was a surreal moment. I remember being in Florida. I was in Florida with my girlfriend. And
what time of year was this?
This would have been early January, right after the Jones Cup Amateur.
Okay.
Which is like 3 weeks before maybe the first tournament of the season. And I remember being in Port St. Lucie, and I was like, "Oh my gosh! Like I'm doing this. Like I gotta move out of my dorm." That was the first thing that I had to do. And
did you already know John? Clearly, you
I
did.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you're picking up the phone immediately anyway.
Yeah.
And how did you know John Rahm?
There was I got an opportunity to play in the PGA Tour American Express last year, and the Farmers Insurance Open next week, and I've always been a Callaway guy, and so is he.
Okay.
So there was kind of that connection there, and then some practice rounds, and then I mean it's not like we were friends by any means.
You
but,
beat him though in a round, and he wanted you on his team.
it was a good 9 holes, paid off. Yeah, it happened very fast. I was in Florida, and out of nowhere, I was like, I got to get back to school to move out of my dorm because the start of the semester was like January 10th to move in and out of dorms. So I had like 2 days to move out. So drove all the way from like down near Miami to Knoxville to move out and started that whole thing. I was a lost puppy dog for a few days, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah. You were the first Vol golfer ever to be first-team All-American in your time at Tennessee. So take us through the progression here from growing up in North Carolina, playing high school golf there. What brought you to the University of Tennessee, and was this ever something – obviously growing up, you're thinking about the PGA Tour, right, as a kid growing up. When did the LIV Tour even cross your mind as a possibility, or was it the moment that you talked to Jon Rahm?
Yeah, to be honest, I mean, I'll start by answering your question on my journey to Tennessee. I mean, that was, I always grew up in North Carolina, same house in Charlotte, North Carolina, and, it's different to see, like, a North Carolina junior golfer not go to a North Carolina school. So, like, I kind of had to, like, step out of that comfort zone to go to Tennessee. And it was an amazing decision. Coach Webb played a big role in making that decision, which I think he's one of the best coaches in college golf, if not the best. And he's been crucial for my career. I wanted to go to Tennessee, and I wanted to be I didn't want to just be another guy. I wanted to be one of the guys that plays a role in Webb's journey to try and turn that program into something special. Because it wasn't a highlighted program for a really long time. So. And, I got that opportunity when I felt like I took advantage of it well. And, and then, honestly, I had never thought of it, to answer your question, to be 100% honest, as far as LIV goes, because golf has changed so much, right? Like that 2 years ago, it wasn't even a thing, really, especially for college golfers. So, I mean, it was out of nowhere, but it accomplishes a lot of the same goals what you dream of as a child, right? You dream of playing with the best players, competing with the best players and learning and having a place to play. And to be offered that opportunity was a no-brainer for me. And I think it's a big door opener for future college golfers to see that something like this is, it's attainable. And I think that you'll see more in the future.
Caleb Surratt with us. Give me the 60-second version of this. So you're wearing your team hat right now.
Yes, sir.
Jon Rahm called you because he wanted you to join his team. How does that work? And what should we expect on a weekly basis moving forward based on the team play here?
I like that logo, by the way. It looks like one of the house seals on Game of Thrones.
Legion 13.
Legion 13.
Yeah. So, he chose it up. I mean, obviously, I think we're a great team. If that's somewhat answering your question. We've won 2 out of the 5 events already as a fairly new put-together squad just out of nowhere.
So when you win, what do you get? There's a $25 million purse this week in Houston. So
there's I believe it's a $20 million individual, and then I'm not too sure. I don't really keep up with the team stuff that much.
They're winning so often that it doesn't matter. I get it.
You just get hats like that.
How many teammates do you have?
3 teammates.
Okay.
Playing every week. A big thing that probably the most important thing that the teams are playing for is the points race, right, for the end of the season accolades, because that's probably the most thing of value headed into the final season or into the final stretch of the season, because those rankings have a lot to do with a lot of things. So, but I think as a team, like especially us, and I think part of the reason why we've been successful is everybody focuses on themselves, right? Like there's still an individual thing on the golf course. Like what I do can't make John go hit the ball better, right? Like John making more putts doesn't make me make more putts. You know what I mean? So I think if everybody on our team tries their hardest and focuses on themselves and what they have to do to perform, then they're going to be, we're going to be a good team together.
What's it like watching him drive the golf ball?
It's incredible. I mean, that's one perk to being around him is I'm a cutter of the ball too. So like watching him like start balls like 40 yards left and then just move it into the fairway, it's incredible. And he does it every time. So it's made me a better driver just watching.
So what would you have done on 8 off the tee had you not learned off of Jon Rahm? The same thing, the same shot I saw today?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, like, I've learned that, like, there's nothing wrong with, like, starting it in trouble and working it out of the trouble. You know what I mean? Rather than, like,
I wouldn't know that, no.
Yeah.
Well, you're a cutter.
We start in trouble and we finish in trouble. That's how we golf. Yeah. Was this your first time playing the Grove, the course?
Today was, yes, sir.
Okay.
I got a chance to go one time with my college team, and we actually ended up getting rained out, so we never played. But
what's your impression of the course?
I think it's very well maintained. Greens are great, firm, fast. I think there's a lot of like penalizing water off the tee on some shots that like just kind of sneaks in out of nowhere. And overall, I mean, it's a great golf course. I'm curious to see how it's going to play in the tournament versus today.
Yeah, I mean, the greens are slick.
They're quick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about the party. We will be attending over the week that when lives here, June 21st to the 23rd. You've got there's a party hole.
Okay.
That I've heard about. You heard about this morning, I
Yeah,
believe.
the par 3.
The par 3. You
Right.
have the guitar putt deal. There's like a 40-foot guitar for fans to putt with. I don't music. Dan and Shay's playing a concert at the amphitheater there right after.
So it's like a mini golf, like you
What's
putt
it-
on a guitar.
Yeah, I believe
like a
so.
big 40-foot guitar.
I didn't see it. They were setting up the course, Chad. Caleb, what is it like playing on a course for LIV versus just your average tournament based on the noise and the party going on?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely more noise, but I think that's what engages a lot of the fans. You know what I mean? Like that's what allows a lot of kids to come and have fun. But for the players, like it's just golf. You know what I mean? It's still a highly competitive environment with a lot of guys that want to beat each other for the same reasons that all the other pros want to beat each other on other tours. So I try and just focus on the golf as much as I can on the golf course. Because there is a bunch of noise, but I think it makes you, a bit tougher. You kind of have to be a little more. You have to have a little more blinders on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't quite see everything that's going on around you, but that's not a knock on how it's run because it's run amazing for the fans and the players are very well taken care of. It's just it's a little bit different than college golf per se.
Maybe you're like Brady, you're on TB12, and you'll never want a sip of alcohol, but you have a new alcohol sponsor.
Brady drinks alcohol.
Well, we've seen him on tequila.
Yeah, we've seen him.
Caleb, I was talking with Caleb earlier this morning, Chad. They have a new alcohol sponsor for their team, I believe, and he's 20, so he can't.
Yeah.
When do you turn 21?
March 16th of next year.
Okay.
Well, what's the legal age in Europe? I know there are events in Europe.
I don't
think
know.
it's younger.
I've never really had a drink.
Okay.
But yeah, I think like.
But you
think
hear
there's an
this
outing-
alcohol is great.
There's like an outing next week or something, and like I think only John, Tyrrell, and Kieran are going. Like I'm not taking part until I'm 21.
Yeah.
So
What a celebration that's going to be on tour.
Right. We'll be sure to sample it for you and let you know how it is.
And
How
you're
about that?
you're seeing the world, right?
yeah.
What
so
is this-
I
what
had
is this
never,
like?
I had never been. I had only been outside the United States one time until 2023. And that was the
That's
walk.
awesome.
Yeah.
That
so,
you're seeing it now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite
just
city?
2 trips around.
Favorite city?
Adelaide, Australia. So
By far?
I would move there tomorrow. I mean, honestly, Singapore might be the coolest place I've ever been, but it's just so hot that I couldn't live there. But Australia is unbelievable. But I haven't been many places in Europe yet, so I gotta
That's coming.
put respect on that.
Yeah.
Well, he's off to Houston now, and he's never been to Nashville. I told him about Broadway.
Until now.
He didn't see this earlier,
I
right?
mean,
He was only
Never
3
been
hours away
downtown.
in school in Knoxville,
I know.
too.
Yeah.
Never
So-
been downtown.
Well, when you're back, you'll definitely have to check out Broadway.
I
You're
might check
literally
it
a
out
block
after
from
this.
Broadway.
When
Really?
you're 21, you can come check out Broadway with us. Not until then.
Yeah, I've heard that's a big role in what Nashville has to offer.
Sets the scene. It's
Yeah.
a tone setter.
Right.
For sure. Thanks for the time this morning, man. It was a lot of fun. And, look forward to when you're back in town later this month with LIV.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Thank you guys for having me.
There it is.
Thank you.
Caleb Surratt has been our guest.